Alright, ladies and gentlemen, in this video we are going to be proving the right angles congruency theorem. So let's just kind of keep this in mind. The goal of this particular video is, of course, yes, to show how to prove the right angles congruency theorem. But I think even more so, it gives us an opportunity to think of how to prove other proofs that are similar in situation. Remember, most proofs are not a one-size-fits-all type of mentality. And so we have to kind of think outside of the box, use strategies and implementations from one proof and see how we can incorporate them into other proofs. So let's take a look here at an example, like I said, of the right angles congruency theorem. So as always, every proof starting off with what is given to us. So we are given that angle 1 and angle 2 are in fact right angles. Okay? And you'll start to kind of get a little bit more used to all my abbreviations with things. And of course, that is what is given to us here. So 1 and 2 are right angles. So I always think about asking myself, like, the original statement that I make, or the statement above, like, what does it physically mean for 1 and 2 to be right angles? And so we think about right angles, and 99.9% of the time, if I ask anyone, we can all realize that a right angle is 90 degrees. And so use that to your advantage. Physically use what you know about right angles. And so that means the measure of angle 1 is equal to 90 degrees. So is the measure of angle 2. And again, think about the question that I asked. I said, what does it physically mean? Well, that tells us that it was the definition of right angles that told us they both equaled 90 degrees. Well, now take a look at what happens. Both 1 is equal to 90 degrees and 2 is equal to 90 degrees. So if they both equal the same thing, that means that they are equal to one another. And that's a perfect definition or example of saying our transitive property, because if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C as well. And so that would be our transitive property of equality and not congruency, because we have our equal signs. Okay, so the goal is to get to that 1 is congruent to 2. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Well, look where we are. We are saying that the measure of 1, the value of angle 1, equals the value of angle 2. Well, if the values are the same, that means the figures are congruent. And that is because our definition of congruent angles.